Welcome to 3.2, surface area now of pyramids, cylinders, spheres, and cones. All right, so it's going to be really the same as the last one. It's just we got a couple of tricks that we're going to learn. So I'm just going to let you guys read through number one if you want. I'm just going to go right to one of these questions. All right, so what do we got here? We got to find the the area of a shape, something like this now, right? Well, if you think about what we have here, what a lot of these are going to be like is if you drew a line straight from like there to there, we've got kind of two shapes. We're going to find the surface area of this square and then the surface area of this like half circle over here. So let's find the purple one first. So the surface area of just the square. Well, the surface area of a square, remember, or a rectangle was just always just length times width. And that's the same as a square, which is just one side times the other side. Pretty much, pretty much the same thing, right? Okay, so for the square part here, we're going to go, the area is equal to 3.5 times 3.25. So the area of the square is 11.4 feet squared, right, for units there. Now maybe like put a box around that just so we can remember. And then we're going to figure out the surface area of this half of a circle. So in order to do that, we just need to figure out what's the formula for a circle. So go back to your formula sheet. For a circle was just pi r squared. So if we go back to here, so area of a circle is equal to pi r squared, but we only want half of this circle, right? That's all we have here. So then what you can do is just divide the whole thing by 2. You could put it in a formula like this. You could have also just went pi r squared, figured out a number, and then divided that number by 2. Same thing, right? I'm going to put it in the formula like this, but however you like to do it, that's fine. So let's go area is equal to pi times r, but what is r? What's r going to be in this case, right? Well, if we kind of look at our circle here, r would be the radius, the distance from here to there, from the middle to the outside. Well, the whole thing is 3.5, right? That's the height of the whole thing. That'd be the diameter of our circle. So the radius is just half of that. So 3.5, if you want to somewhere else, 3.5 divided by 2 is 1.75. So that's what our radius is, right? This is 1.75 from there to there. So I'm going to put that into our formula here. 1.75. Don't forget to square it. And then that's all over 2. So now when you put that into your calculator, that's just going to be, we'll go pi. So that's just that whole long string of digits, right? And then times. And then 1.75 squared. But then remember to put, I'm going to push equals here and just get like everything up top. That's going to tell me everything up top. So when I push equals, that whole top part is equal to 9.62 and all those digits. So that would be the area of a full circle. But then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that number and I'm just going to go divided by 2 and equals. So the area of our half of a circle was, what was that? 4.8. Okay, and then the last step here, we just need to add those two together. So we're going to go 11.4 plus 4.8 is equal to 16.2 feet squared. And then circle your answer. Okay, moving on to the next one. All right, so now we got the same type of a thing happening here, right? So right at the bat, let's figure out what our radius is here. We've got, what I would do is kind of break this up into 2 pieces that look kind of like this. And you can see on this side, we've just got a half of a circle to figure out. And then we have 2 triangles on the other side. So the radius of this thing is going to be half of this number, right? The half of this number is going to be the distance from there to there. That would be the radius of our circle. So 6.8 divided by 2 is 3.4. So this is going to be 3.4 for our radius. All right, now let's find the radius of our half of a circle, just like above. So we go area of this is going to be pi r squared divided by 2, because it's just half of a circle. That's what the divided by 2 part is. So then we're going to go a is equal to pi times r is 3.4 squared divided by 2. So the area here would be, you go pi times 3.4 squared, and then push the equal symbol. So 36.3 yada yada yada. That's my top, right? That's the whole like numerator of my equation. And then I'm just going to go that divided by 2 equals 18.2. 18.2 centimeters squared. Okay, so I got this one figured. Now the next one, I just got to figure out what these triangles are. So the triangle here is, let's figure out just one triangle, and then we'll just multiply our answer by 2. And the way we can do that is I know that the length from there to there, that's also going to be 3.4. Those little dashes there, when it's like tick, tick, and tick, tick on the other side, that means they're the same length. So that's also 3.4. And then I also know if this was a circle that this would be 3.4. So the area for a circle was 1/2 base times height, right? So if I want to figure out the surface area of just one of these triangles, that's going to be 1/2. I'm going to write that as 0.5. My base, doesn't really matter which one I call my base, they're both the same, 3.4. And then my height would be a 3.4. Okay, so the area of one of these is going to be 0.5 times 3.4 times 3.4 equals 5.7, or 5.8 even, let's see. So 5.8. Okay, but that was the surface area for just one of those triangles, right? There's 2 of them there. So what I'm going to do is multiply that by 2. So I'm going to say that times 2. So the area for both, maybe we'll even write both right there, both of those triangles is going to be 11.6 centimeters squared. Okay, and then last step, we just need to add those 2 numbers. So we figured out that one and that one. So the total area here is going to be equal to 11.6 plus 18.2 centimeters squared. So 29.8 centimeters squared. And then I'll circle my answer. All right, so that's it for that one. Moving on. Okay, this one, I'm going to let you guys actually go ahead and do this one on your own. I'll give you a hint here, though. Now we're missing a circular shape, right? So this is still a circle, like a half of a circle, kind of like what we had before. But now it's missing. So instead of like these ones where we were adding that circular shape to it, to, you know, just adding the whole thing up, this one, what I would do is figure out what's the area of this whole thing, right? The whole rectangle. And then what I do is subtract out half of a circle. So go ahead and give that one a try now. Okay, moving on. All right, so now we're going to be dealing with cylinders. And if you took a cylinder apart, you know, say it's something like this over here, right? That's a cylinder. You could break it up into the top part where you could figure the surface area of that out, the surface area of that, and then you can kind of see if this was like a can that had like a label on it, you could like unwrap that label, and the surface area of everything around the outside here, well, that would be this, right? That big rectangle. So a cylinder can be broken up into a circle, a rectangle, and the same circle on the top. So that's the net of a cylinder. Okay, so you can look through that question if you want. I'm going to move on to just these questions here. So it says find the surface area of a cylindrical tank that has a radius of 1.5 meters and a height of 5. So I would just kind of sketch it out really quickly too. Oh, that was terrible. Get the job done though. Wow. Okay, it has a radius of 1.5, so that's from there to there, right? 1.5. And it has a height of 5 meters. Okay, so now the surface area of my two circles, right? The top and the bottom there. Let me make that red. So we'll say the area of those is going to be equal to pi r squared. But there's two of them, right? There's going to be the one on the top and the one on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just multiply this by 2 right now. So 2 times pi r squared. That's just going to do both of them at once. So the area is going to be equal to 2 pi, and then r is 1.5 squared. So the area is going to be 2 times pi times 1.5 squared, and then just don't forget to push equals at the end. So 14.1 meters squared. Okay, I'm just gonna put like a box around that so we can remember it. That was the top and the bottom, right? Now what we got to figure out is the surface area of the middle part. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back a step here to our picture, just so we can kind of see this like what I'm going to do here now. So the circumference of a circle is the distance all the way around the outside. So how far it is around the whole outside of that thing. And if I did that, let's make it orange maybe. So all the way around the outside there. You can see if I unwrapped the label on this thing, like the purple part, like over here, right? That circumference that I just drew, that would be the distance from the top of this to the next side of that, right? You've unwrapped that whole thing. It's like you've taken that circumference and just like rolled it out like this, right? So if I figure out the circumference of that circle, that's going to tell me what the top of my rectangle is. And then I already probably know what the height is, the up and down part. So if I know that, then I can just go base times height. So here, I'll show you what I mean. So we need to figure out what the circumference is of this circle going around the outside here. So the formula for circumference is C is equal to 2 pi r. So circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. Not squared, right? The last time it's different than area because we're not squaring the radius. So it's going to be 2 times pi times 1.5. So the circumference of this thing is going to be 2 times pi times 1.5. So 9.4. Okay, and that's meters we're in. So we're going to need that. So that's going to be the top of our rectangle now, right? So in purple here, if we unwrap that whole middle section, we'd have a shape that was like a rectangle. The top of our rectangle, if we're trying to figure out the surface area of that, is going to be 9.4. Right? That's the distance from there to there in our rectangle. Okay, the up and down part of our rectangle that we've got over here, oh, should have made that purple, is going to be 5, right? That's just the height of our can. So that's going to be 5. So really now we just need to go 5 times 9.4, and that's going to give us our surface area for that. So we're going to go, so area of our middle section is going to be 9.4 times 5, right? Just base times height. So 47. All right, and then last step, we just need to add up both of our areas that we found. So our total area now is going to be 14.1 meters squared plus 47, and that should have been meters squared too. So the area is equal to plus 14. Area is 60. What was it? 61.1 meters squared. Okay, and that's how you do these ones. Okay, so now that I helped you out with that one, the next question is going to be really similar. It's really the same type of thing, right? The last one had a radius of 1.5. This one, though, has a diameter of 4.5. So here, I'll even help you kind of draw this out first. So if we hopefully do a better job drawing again. One sec. Okay, I figured out how to use some of the tools in here to make a better cylinder. So now the diameter, though, is 4.5. So diameter is from here to here, right? The one side to the other. Maybe I'll make a different color. There to there. So it's saying the diameter of that circle is 4.5. So if you want the radius is half of that. So step number 1, figure out what half of 4.5 is. That's going to be your radius. And then after that, the question's pretty much exactly the same as above. So I'll let you guys kind of see if you can copy or use our example from above to figure out this one. So go ahead and answer number 5 now. All right. Okay, and I'll actually do you guys a favor. We are going to not do number 6. So you can scratch that one off. Okay, next one. All right, so now we're getting away from cylinders. We are moving into pyramids, finding the surface area of pyramids. So the way, here, I'll let you guys look through that one too, but I'll just kind of start on the questions here. So number 7, find the surface area of the square-based pyramid below. So again, we're going to break this into parts, right? So what we're going to do, is we are going to figure out what the surface area is of each of these faces. You can see that we've got, really, the square pyramid is made of 4 triangles and then 1 square on the bottom, right? The square on the bottom is down there. So we'll just figure out the surface area of 4 triangles, one square, and then we're done. Just add them all together. So first off, the surface area of the triangles here, what we're going to need, remember, for the surface area of a triangle is just 1/2 base times height. So we have the base of 28, right? The base from there to there. And the height in this case is 21 centimeters. This is called the slant height on a pyramid. And that's just the distance along the face of it. So it's not like the distance up and down, which we're going to be doing a bit later when we look at volume and stuff. But it's the distance along the face. So we have everything we need. That is the height of our triangle that we're trying to find the surface area of. So if we want to figure out the surface area of one triangle, that would just be area is equal to 0.5 times the base is 28, and the height of this one is 21. Okay, so the area there is going to be 0.5 times 28 times 21. 294. So 294 for the surface area of one face. So if I want the surface area of all 4 of those faces, which are all exactly the same, right? Then I'm just going to take this number and I'm going to multiply it by 4. So we're going to say this and then just go times 4. So area of all 4 of them is going to be that, and then just times 4. So 1,176. Centimeters squared. Okay, so now we've got all of our top part, all of our triangle parts. Put a little box around that because we'll need it in a minute. And now for the bottom part, that's just the area of a square. So the area of a square is just base times height. So we'll go 28 times 28. So the area of that, 28 times 28, 784 centimeters squared. And now finally, if I want the area for all of them, we just add those two together. So we're going to go area of everything is going to be 784 plus 1,176 So the area there, so that plus, it's going to be 1,960 centimeters squared. All right, so that's how you do these ones. Okay, now we've got a pentagon. So really similar to the one above, but instead of a square for our base, we've got a pentagon shape on the bottom there. And the way we're here, I'll show you how to find the area of the triangles first. That'll be exactly the same as the last one, but just multiply by more triangles. So if we're trying to find the surface area of all these faces along the outside, just the area of a triangle. So area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So area is equal to 0.5 times 18 to my base. So times 18. My height, or my slant height in this case, is 28. So the area is going to be 0.5 times 18 times 28. 252 centimeters squared. But that was just for one, right? So that was just like one of those triangles. How many are there? Well, there's 5, right? If you counted all those triangles around the outside, it's on a pentagon, right? Which has 5 sides. So it's just that, and then just times 5. So the area of all those faces together would just be that times 5. So 1,260. Okay, so that's the first part. Now the next part here, we got to figure out the area of the entire bottom and then add it to that. And the way we figure that out is if you think about a pentagon here, if I put like a dot right in the middle, then really what I could do is draw a line there to there, and there to there, there to there, there to there, and there to there, right? Really, I can make this into 5 different little triangles, right? Ooh, actually, before I keep going with that, I need to go back and read the question because it's actually going to be easier than that. This question said, what is the exposed area of the pyramid? So the exposed area would be like everywhere above. So the pyramid would be sitting on the ground. So the exposed area would just be actually just what we just found there. So we don't even need to worry about finding that bottom part, which is good because as I was looking at it, that would actually be a little bit of work. Yeah, so that's the answer for that one. Okay, moving on. Okay, number 9 here now is actually going to be pretty much exactly like number 8. So I'm going to let you guys actually go ahead and do that. And again, just reading the question here to make sure we got this right now. It says, what is the lateral surface area of the pyramid? That's referring again to, sorry to keep switching back and forth, but that's referring to, again, just the stuff that's exposed, like the stuff above ground. So not the bottom part there. So it's going to be really the same question. The only difference here is that we're not dealing with the pentagon in question like we did in question 8. We are going to be dealing with an octagon. So an octagon is 8 sides. So look back at that question if you need to help you out with this one. Draw a picture, or it might help you to use that one to help you draw a picture for this one. Yeah, but then I'm going to let you guys just go ahead and do that on your own. So go ahead and answer that one now. All right, moving on. Okay, example 4 here now. We're going to make it a little bit tougher. It's going to be pretty much the same as the other ones, but the only problem here in these questions, we're not going to give you that slant height anymore. This time they gave you like the height from the bottom of the pyramid up to the top there, and we need to figure out what the slant height is. And the way we're going to be able to do this is by seeing that if you look inside there, we've got a triangle, right? That's a triangle like that. And it's a right angle triangle. And we know the bottom is 12 because, well, we know it's 12 because it's going to be half of the distance of this, right? So that's going to be the bottom of our triangle. And then we know up and down is 9. So this is really A, and this is B, and this is C. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. We're going to use Pythagorean theorem here to figure out what our hypotenuse of that inside triangle is. And then when you know that, then we can figure out our surface area just like we did before. So you can look through your notes there to see what they did for that one. Let's just do this one on our own. So let's zoom in a bit here. This one isn't, I don't really like how the 8 is over there, because it's saying find the total surface area of a square pyramid with a base 12 by 12 and a height of 8. So it should have almost been like, 8 over here for like the height from there to there. So now we need to figure out what the slant height is. We got to figure out what the height is from there to there. And the way we're going to do that is, if I know this is 8, do I know what my base is down here, what the bottom of that right angle triangle in there would be? Well, it's going to be half of 12, right? It's half of our square base that we have there. So it's going to be 6. So I know that this is 6. And we need to figure out C, right? So the slant height there. So I'm going to go lowercase a. So I'm going to go a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared for Pythagorean theorem. It doesn't matter if you call it 6a or 8a. Doesn't matter, but I'll go 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to c squared. Okay, so now we're just going to go 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to, so this is 100, right? Is equal to c squared. And then the last thing you have to do is just take the square root of both sides. So just take the square root of 100. I say both sides because that gets rid of the squared on that one. And then we end up with just c is equal to square root of 100 is 10. So I know the slant height here then that we needed was 10. Okay, now we're good. Now that we know that, we just need to figure out the surface area of the 4 triangles on the side and then the bottom, and then we're good. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do that one because it's just like ones we've done in the last section here. So these ones, right? Same type of thing as like this question here. So if you want to look back to remind yourself how to do that one, but I'll let you guys do that. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So go ahead and answer number 10 now. Okay. And I'm actually going to make that it for this section. So you guys can not do number 11, so take that one off. And number 12, you don't need to do that one as well. And I'm going to make this actually the end of this video. I'll split this one up into 2 sections. So we'll pick up with cones in the next section. So I'll see you guys in the next video.